Today, Kolo Touré is remembered as one of Africa's finest defenders, a Premier League legend, and a leader whose career was defined by loyalty, intelligence, and quiet strength. A player who proved that greatness does not always need glamour, and whose legacy lives on through the trophies he helped win, the teammates he inspired, and the path he paved for African defenders in the world's toughest leagues. Yaya Touré and Kolo Touré share far more than just a surname. Their stories are deeply intertwined, forming one of the most remarkable family legacies in the history of world football. A rare case where two brothers not only reached the highest level of the game, but dominated it in different yet complementary ways. Both were born in Bowick, Ivory Coast, and raised in a humble environment where football was not just a passion, but an escape, a dream, and a path toward a better life. From the same streets and the same football culture, they developed the same core values: discipline, resilience, respect for the game, and an unbreakable work ethic. Their football education was shaped by ASEC Mimosas, one of Africa's most prestigious academies, which instilled tactical intelligence, technical quality, and professionalism in both brothers, laying the foundation for their European success. This shared upbringing explains why, despite playing in different positions, Kolo primarily as a defender and Yaya as a midfielder, they both possessed exceptional game intelligence, physical strength, and versatility, allowing them to adapt seamlessly to various systems, leagues, and tactical demands. In terms of achievements, the combined honors of the Touré brothers are staggering and place them among the most successful siblings the sport has ever known. Together, they conquered English football, European competitions, and African international tournaments. Kolo Touré was a central figure in Arsenal's legendary invincible season of 2003-04, going unbeaten in the Premier League, a feat that remains unmatched, while Yaya Touré later redefined midfield dominance at Manchester City, playing a decisive role in multiple Premier League title wins and producing one of the greatest individual seasons by a midfielder in 2013-14. Both brothers lifted Premier League trophies, FA Cups, and League Cups, and both were instrumental in turning their clubs into title-winning sides rather than simply being passengers in successful teams. They also shared success on the European stage, with Yaya winning the UEFA Champions League with Barcelona and Kolo reaching the final with Arsenal in 2006. Contributing significantly to deep runs in Europe's most prestigious competition, their time together at Manchester City represents one of the most iconic chapters of their shared journey, as they became the first brothers to play together for the club in the modern era and to win major trophies side by side. This period symbolized not only their individual excellence, but also their collective influence on a club undergoing transformation. Kolo brought leadership, defensive stability, and experience, while Yaya provided power, creativity, and match-winning moments from midfield. Together, they helped Manchester City secure the FA Cup in 2011, ending a long trophy drought, and laid the groundwork for the club's future dominance in English football. Their presence in the same squad highlighted their deep understanding of the game and of each other, forged over years of shared experiences on and off the pitch, on the international stage. Their bond and shared ambition reached its most emotional and meaningful expression with the Ivory Coast national team. For more than a decade, Yaya and Kolo were pillars of a golden generation that carried the hopes of an entire nation. They endured painful defeats in Africa Cup of Nations finals and semifinals, World Cup disappointments, and immense pressure, yet they never abandoned the national team. Their perseverance was finally rewarded in 2015 when Ivory Coast won the Africa Cup of Nations, a triumph that represented redemption, unity, and national pride. Both brothers played leadership roles, Kolo as a defensive leader and experienced captain figure, and Yaya as the midfield engine and creative force, showing how their contrasting styles combined to form a balanced and powerful team. This victory cemented their status as national heroes and legends of African football. Individually, both brothers earned immense respect and recognition, further highlighting what they have in common. Yaya Touré's for consecutive African Footballer of the Year awards from 2011 to 2014 showcased his dominance on the continent, while Kolo Touré's inclusion in elite Premier League squads and his role in historic teams reflected his consistency and reliability at the highest level. What truly unites their legacies, however, is not just silverware or individual accolades, but the impact they had on how African footballers are perceived globally. They broke stereotypes by excelling tactically, physically, and mentally in Europe's most demanding leagues. proving that African players could be leaders, strategists, and match winners in the world's top teams after retirement. Both Yaya and Kolo Touré chose to remain connected to football through coaching. Another powerful similarity that reflects their deep love for the game and desire to give back. Both pursued coaching licenses and worked with youth and senior teams, focusing on developing discipline, intelligence, and professionalism in the next generation. Their transition from players to mentors mirrors their playing careers, thoughtful, committed, and driven by purpose rather than spotlight. In the end, what Yaya and Kolo Touré truly have in common is a shared legacy built on sacrifice, excellence, and brotherhood. Together, they represent more than trophies and titles. They symbolize what is possible when talent is matched with humility, hard work, and unity. Their story is not just about two great footballers, but about family, identity, and the power of perseverance, making the Touré brothers one of the most complete and inspiring duos the beautiful game has ever produced. As the final chapter closes on the playing careers of Yaya Touré and Kolo Touré, their legacy continues to echo far beyond the pitch, far beyond the trophies lifted and the records broken. What they leave behind is not only a collection of medals, unforgettable moments, and historic achievements, but a blueprint for future generations, especially young African players who dream of reaching the highest level of world football. They showed that success is not defined by glamour alone, but by consistency, intelligence, humility, and sacrifice. Together, they proved that brothers can stand side by side at the summit of the game without rivalry, without ego, united by respect and purpose. Their influence lives on in the clubs they helped build, in the national pride they restored with Ivory Coast's AFCON triumph, and in the coaching paths they now walk to shape the future of the sport. The Touré name will forever be associated with leadership, strength, and excellence, a reminder that true greatness is measured not only by what you win, but by what you inspire. If this story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you why football is more than just a game, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more legendary football stories. Let us know in the comments which football brothers or legends you want to see next. And remember, some stories are not just played, they are lived. And the story of Yaya and Kolo Touré will live on forever in the heart of the beautiful game. Yaya Touré's story is one of raw talent, resilience, intelligence, and an unshakable belief that he belonged among football's greatest. A journey that began in Bowick, Ivory Coast, where Negneri Yaya Touré was born on May 13, 1983, into a football-loving family that would later produce another professional player, his younger brother Kolo Touré. From a very young age, Yaya showed an unusual combination of physical power, technical skill, and calmness on the ball, qualities that made him stand out even in the chaotic street football culture of Ivory Coast. His early career was anything but smooth. Like many African players, he left home as a teenager in search of opportunity, facing rejection, uncertainty, and constant movement across clubs and countries. He passed through ASEC Mimosas, the famous Ivorian academy that produced legends like Didier Drogba and Kolo Touré, before moving to Europe, where his career initially took him to Belgium with Beveren, then to Ukraine with Metalurg Donetsk. These early years were crucial as they hardened him mentally and tactically, teaching him discipline, adaptability, and patience. His breakthrough came at Olympiakos in Greece, where his dominance in midfield, ability to carry the ball forward, and composure under pressure began to attract serious attention from Europe's elite. In 2007, he earned a move to AS Monaco, where his performances in Ligue 1 further showcased his versatility. He could play as a defensive midfielder, central midfielder, or even drop into defense when needed. This versatility caught the eye of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, and in 2007, he joined the Catalan Giants, a move that would redefine his career. At Barcelona, Yaya Touré became part of one of the greatest teams in football history, contributing to the club's historic 2008-9 treble under Guardiola. Though often deployed as a holding midfielder to allow players like Xavi and Iniesta to flourish, Yaya's influence went far beyond simple defensive duties. He was powerful yet elegant, capable of breaking lines with his dribbling, shielding the defense with his strength, and delivering decisive moments when it mattered most. One of the defining highlights of his Barcelona career was scoring the opening goal in the 2009 Champions League final against Manchester United. A rare feat for a midfielder, and a moment that etched his name into European football history. Despite his success, Yaya sought a role that allowed him more freedom and recognition, leading to a pivotal move to Manchester City in 2010. This transfer marked the beginning of a new era, not only for Yaya, but for the club itself. At Manchester City, Yaya Touré transformed from a world-class midfielder into a Premier League icon and one of the most dominant players England had ever seen. Under Roberto Mancini and later Manuel Pellegrini, he was given license to surge forward, and the results were extraordinary. The 2013-14 season stands as one of the greatest individual midfield campaigns in Premier League history, as Yaya scored 20 league goals, many of them crucial, combining box-to-box runs, thunderous long-range strikes, ice-cold penalties, and late match-winning moments. He was the heartbeat of City's midfield, leading them to multiple Premier League titles, FA Cups, and League Cups, while redefining what a modern midfielder could be. His physical presence was intimidating, his technique refined, and his football intelligence exceptional. Beyond club football, Yaya Touré was equally monumental for the Ivory Coast national team, earning over 100 caps and becoming a symbol of hope and pride for an entire nation. He represented his country in multiple Africa Cup of Nations tournaments and FIFA World Cups, often carrying the weight of expectation on his shoulders. The crowning moment of his international career came in 2015, when he captained Ivory Coast to Africa Cup of Nations glory, ending years of heartbreak and near misses. A victory that cemented his legacy as one of Africa's greatest ever players. Individually, Yaya's brilliance was recognized through 4 consecutive African Footballer of the Year awards from 2011 to 2014, an achievement that placed him among legends like George Weah and Samuel Eto'o. His later years saw him face challenges, including injuries, reduced playing time under Pep Guardiola's return at Manchester City, and public disputes involving his agent, but even these moments highlighted his strong personality and unwavering confidence. He later played for New York City FC in MLS and Qingdao Huanghai in China before officially retiring from professional football. After retirement, Yaya Touré transitioned into coaching, determined to pass on his knowledge and experience to the next generation, working with youth teams and earning coaching badges, proving that his football mind was as sharp as his playing ability. Today, Yaya Touré is remembered not just as a powerful midfielder, but as a complete footballer, strong yet graceful, disciplined yet creative, humble in origin yet immense in achievement, a player who broke stereotypes, inspired millions across Africa, and left an indelible mark on every club and country he represented. A true giant of the modern game whose legacy continues to echo long after the final whistle. Kolo Touré's journey is a powerful story of determination, intelligence, leadership, and quiet excellence. A career built not on flashy headlines, but on consistency, resilience, and an unbreakable winning mentality that began in Bowick, Ivory Coast, where Souleymane Bamba, known to the world as Kolo Touré, was born on March 19, 1981. Into a modest family that would go on to produce not one but 2 footballing giants. As he is the elder brother of Yaya Touré, from a young age, Kolo showed remarkable athleticism, discipline, and a natural understanding of defensive positioning, traits that set him apart early in his development. Like many African players, his path to the top was far from straightforward. He rose through the famed ASEC Mimosas Academy, a breeding ground for Ivorian talent, where his versatility was immediately evident, as he could operate both in midfield and defense. His performances in domestic competitions and continental tournaments caught the attention of European scouts, leading to a move to Arsenal in 2002, a decision that would define the early peak of his career and place him on one of football's grandest stages. At Arsenal, under the legendary Arsene Wenger, Kolo Touré evolved rapidly into a world-class defender, becoming a key part of one of the greatest teams in Premier League history. Initially deployed as a defensive midfielder before settling into central defense, Kolo's pace, strength, anticipation, and composure on the ball made him the perfect fit for Wenger's fluid, attacking philosophy. His ability to recover quickly, read the game, and play out from the back helped Arsenal dominate English football in the early 2000s. And he played an integral role in the famous invincible season of 2003-04, when Arsenal went unbeaten throughout the entire Premier League campaign, a feat that remains unmatched in the modern era. During this period, Kolo established himself as one of the most reliable defenders in England, forming strong partnerships at the back and contributing not only defensively, but also offensively, as his leadership and occasional goals added another dimension to his game. After leaving Arsenal in 2009, Kolo joined Manchester City at a time when the club was beginning its transformation into a global powerhouse. His arrival brought experience, professionalism, and a winning mindset to a squad in transition, and he quickly became a leader both on and off the pitch. At City, Kolo Touré played a crucial role in the club's resurgence, helping them secure FA Cup success in 2011, their first major trophy in decades, and contributing to the squad that won the Premier League title in 2011-12, ending a 44-year wait for the league crown. His partnership with Vincent Kompany, along with his calm authority in defense, was instrumental in establishing City as a serious force in English football. Later in his career, Kolo moved to Liverpool in 2013, reuniting with former Manchester City manager Brendan Rodgers. Though no longer at his physical peak, Kolo's experience, leadership, and tactical understanding proved invaluable, particularly during the 2013-14 season when Liverpool came agonizingly close to winning the Premier League title. He continued to play a mentoring role, guiding younger defenders and contributing important moments, including leadership in high-pressure matches and success in domestic cup competitions, such as the League Cup final appearances. On the international stage, Kolo Touré was a pillar of the Ivory Coast national team for over a decade, earning more than 120 caps and representing his country in multiple Africa Cup of Nations tournaments and FIFA World Cups. Often serving as captain, he embodied professionalism and unity, helping guide a golden generation that included stars like Didier Drogba, Yaya Touré, and Gervinho. Although international success initially proved elusive, the perseverance of that generation was finally rewarded in 2015, when Ivory Coast won the Africa Cup of Nations, a triumph that crowned Kolo's international career and symbolized years of sacrifice, heartbreak, and resilience. Individually, Kolo was widely respected for his consistency rather than personal accolades, but his influence was undeniable. He was a defender trusted by world-class managers and feared by top attackers. After retiring from professional football, Kolo Touré seamlessly transitioned into coaching, continuing his association with the game by working with Manchester City's youth setup, Celtic's first-team coaching staff, and later stepping into managerial and assistant roles, driven by a passion to develop young talent and instill discipline and professionalism. What truly unites them is their consistency at the elite level year after year. Season after season, both delivered double-digit goals, match-winning performances, and leadership on and off the pitch, often shouldering responsibility during difficult moments for the club. Neither relied on controversy or ego. Both are known worldwide for humility, professionalism, and relentless work ethic, earning respect from teammates, opponents, managers, and fans alike. Kane captained both Tottenham and England, while Son captained both Tottenham and South Korea, a rare parallel that shows the trust placed in them as leaders and role models. On the international stage, both carried their nations on their backs. Kane led England to a World Cup Golden Boot and major tournament runs, while Son led South Korea in World Cups and continental tournaments, achieving national hero status through performances that transcended football. Another powerful common thread is their impact beyond trophies. Both became global ambassadors for the Premier League. Kane as the face of English striking excellence, and Son as a trailblazer who shattered barriers for Asian footballers in Europe. Together, they helped elevate Tottenham Hotspur's global image, attracting millions of fans worldwide and turning the club into a recognizable force on the international stage. They shared unforgettable moments, from dramatic late goals to iconic counterattacks, from Champions League nights to historic league records, writing a chapter in football history that will forever link their names together. In the end, what Kane and Son truly have in common is legacy to players from different continents, cultures, and backgrounds, united by dedication, loyalty, leadership, and an unwavering hunger to win, whose partnership will be remembered as one of the greatest duos the Premier League has ever seen. As this story comes to an end, one thing becomes clear: true greatness in football is not measured only by goals, assists, or trophies, but by impact, influence, and the ability to inspire millions around the world. The journey we've explored is a reminder that success is never linear. It is built through years of discipline, sacrifice, heartbreak, and determination. From the early days filled with doubt and challenges to standing on the biggest stages in world football, this player's career represents everything that makes the beautiful game so powerful. His legacy will live on not only in record books, but in the hearts of fans who witnessed unforgettable goals, iconic performances, and moments of leadership when it mattered most. These stories are why we love football, because behind every match is a human story of perseverance and passion. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of football's greatest journeys and want more legendary stories, iconic rivalries, and unforgettable football moments, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more amazing football content, and comment your favorite football player down below. We'd love to know who inspires you the most. Your support helps us bring more powerful football stories to life. So stay connected, stay passionate, and we'll see you in the next video.